So for Module 8, learning outcomes I'll be talking about is defining a standard score. So the textbook definition of a standard score is a set of observations that have been standardized around a given mean and standard deviation. So when it comes to standard scores, there are two types that you can find them with. So there are z-scores and t-scores. So the most commonly used one is going to be a z-score, and the equation for a z-score is z equals x minus m divided by s. And then when it comes to what each one means, the x is the observed number, and then the m is the mean. So you always subtract the mean from the observed number, never the observed number from the mean, and then you divide it from the standard deviation. You divide the standard deviation, and then we also have a t-score. The t-score equation is t equals 50 plus 10 times x minus m all over s. Or a more simple one is going to be t equals 50 plus 10 times z. So the way you would use a more simple one is if you find the z-score first. So when it comes to explaining the t-score, we use the number 50 because the mean for all t-scores is always going to be 50, and then we use the number 10 because the standard deviation for a t-score is always going to be 10. So then it's 50 plus 10 times the observed number minus the mean all over the standard deviation. So these equations are super important because say you're scoring two completely different types of drills to find out who the best player of like a certain sport is. You can only compare those two different movements, say like dribbling and shooting, with either using a z-score or a t-score, because that will make the scores more valid rather than just using the raw scores. So that's why it is important to know z-scores and t-scores and how to use the standard scores.